Before we begin today's video, I would like to give a shout out to two of our newest subscribers, Carmel and Jenny Bean. Thank you both for subscribing, and welcome to the family. And now on with today's viewer request video by Ag Silver Radio. Greetings, my dear viewers. It is I, Drahon, and welcome back to Pathfinder Hero Flux. That is Flux, short for fluctuation. This is a series parodying my Dungeons & Dragons character conversion series, where we take a character from across media and plop them into Pathfinder 2nd Edition, with as very little changes as possible. We are trying to build that character as they are in their original canon. We are just translating it into the canon of these abilities, feats, and backgrounds that are presented to us in Pathfinder 2nd Edition's rulebooks. And, oh boy, today's going to be a weird one. We are taking a look at a character that I'm most definitely going to trash on a little bit. Blinx, the Time Sweeper. A cat-based race of aliens who are in control of the very fabric of time, and they literally give time to other worlds. They create time in their time factory and then distribute time to other worlds. I mean, I guess you don't have to deal with any bad effects of messing with the fabric of time if you're the ones creating the rules of time. At some point, I'm going to explain why I hate the idea of messing with the fabric of time, but that is neither here nor there. Anywho, the job of the Time Sweepers, these cat aliens that create time, is not only to distribute time to other worlds, but to keep an eye on the flow of time to make sure there are no glitches. You could say time paradoxes. One of these glitches is going to form a time crystal, and if a time crystal is left to its own devices for long enough, it will create a time monster. I guess that's a good way of saying that there are no such thing as time paradoxes. Just create a giant time monster that is going to eradicate the multiverse. Oh boy. Anyway, we'll get more into how time works in due time. Let's go ahead and get started on Blinx and how he might work within Pathfinder 2nd Edition, starting things off with his stats. Strength is going to be 12, Dexterity will be 12, Intelligence will be 12, and Wisdom will be 12. For our ancestry, we need a cat-like ancestry who controls the laws of time and space itself. So, we need the catfolk ancestry with the heritage of Aphorite. This will give us an increase to our dexterity and our charisma, each by 2, and is going to decrease our wisdom by 2 because catfolk, but we also get a free ability score increase, so we'll go ahead and increase our wisdom back up to a 12. We get a starting hit points of 8, we are medium sized, we have 25-foot movement speed, our language are Common, Amuran, and Orcish. The Orcish is just to go with the Tom gang, since they're a bunch of pig dudes, and the original description for orcs are they are pig-headed humanoids, and so yeah, I just went with that. We also get access to low light vision, but thanks to our Aphorite versatile heritage, we are upgrading to dark vision. We also get the feature land on your feet, and for our ancestry feat, we are going with cat's luck. Like I said, we are going with the versatile heritage of the Aphorite. There's not really much to that, other than the fact the Aphorites are born with a connection to access the plane of law. When you have control over the laws of time, it made the most sense to go with a heritage that had connections to the plane of law, which is Aphorite. You don't have to go with this, you could just choose to go with one of the other heritages presented in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I would probably recommend, I don't know, flexible catfolk, but Aphorite just had that connection that was kind of obvious. And like I said, we are going with the ancestry feat of cat's luck. If we fail our reflex save, we can re-roll the triggering saving throw and use the better result. So that's pretty good. Moving on to background, I almost went with Time Traveler, believe it or not. But that ended up not fitting with what we needed for Blinx, so I decided instead to go with the Mechanic. You know, since you're creating time, and you have a vacuum cleaner strapped to your back that lets you suck up garbage and whatnot, and you're trying to fix glitches in the fabric of time, it makes sense. It'll give us a +2 to our dexterity and a +2 to our intelligence, which will end up giving us another language. I don't know what language you would want, but you can choose whatever language you find necessary. Probably Elvish or something similar. Trained skills. You are going to be trained in crafting and engineering lore. For your free feat, we are getting access to quick repair, which could represent us fixing our own vacuum, backpack, sweeper, whatever. Anyway, moving on to our class. Since Blinx is part of the platforming genre of games like Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, so on and so forth, it made the most sense to go with the Swashbuckler. This will give us a +2 to our dexterity, additional hit points equal to 10 plus our constitution modifier. We are experts in perception. We are going to get the class feat of Nimble Dodge. For our saving throws, we are going to be trained in Fortitude, and we are going to be experts in Reflex and Will. For your skills, I would recommend grabbing Acrobatics and Athletics because of the Swashbuckler automatically getting those two because of our Swashbuckler style. We also get access to Intimidation, Occultism, Society, Stealth, Survival, and Thievery. For your trained attacks, you are trained in simple and martial weapons as well as unarmed attacks. Your trained defenses are in light armor and unarmored defense. You also get access to Precise Strike, Panache, Confident Finisher, and your Swashbuckler style, which I would recommend the Gymnast. Nimble Dodge will give us access to gaining a +2 circumstance bonus to our AC when we are getting attacked. Moving on to level 2. Swashbuckler, we are going to get access to the class feat of Chrono Skimmer Dedication. This is to reference the main mechanics of Blinx the Time Sweeper. Rewind, fast forward, pause, record, and slow. There's also retry, but that's more of your health. So, yeah. Chrono Skimmer Dedication is going to give us access to being able to manipulate the very fabric of time itself. We're also going with the skill of Catfall because why not? Moving on to level 3 Swashbuckler. We are now experts in acrobatics. We are going to grab the feat of Incredible Initiative, and we are going to grab the stylish tricks feat of Quick Jump. We have access to Great Fortitude, Vivacious Speed, and Opportune Riposte. At level 4 Swashbuckler, we are going to rewind time with Turn Back the Clock. After failing a test of skill, you hop back in your personal timeline so you can try again. You re-roll the triggering check with a +1 circumstance bonus as you apply your experience from your last attempt. You must use the new result even if it is worse than your first roll. And our skill feat is of course going to be Assurance in Acrobatics. Going on to level 5 Swashbuckler. Go ahead and increase your strength, Constitution, and Wisdom each by 2, and increase your Dexterity by 1. You are now an expert in the athletic skill. For your ancestry feat, we are going for Springing Leaper. And you also get access to Weapon Expertise. At level 6 Swashbuckler, we are going for the class feat of Guide the Timeline, and the skill feat of Powerful Leap. Moving on to level 7, we are now masters in the acrobatic skill, and we're going to grab the feat of Improvised Repair with our stylish tricks giving us access to Kip Up. We also have access to Evasion and Weapon Specialization. Moving on to level 8, we are going to get the class feat of Superimpose Time Duplicates. This is going to be a reference to the ability Record. And we're going to gain access to the skill feat of Assurance, but this time in Athletics. At level 9, we are now masters in athletics. We are going to get access to the ancestry feat of Evade Doom. I was going to pick a different skill, but I needed Evade Doom in order to reference Retry, and we are going to have a few more feats that branch off from Evade Doom that we are going to need to reference more of the retry ability. So I just wanted to go ahead and let you know that is the reason why we are taking this feat. Either way, we are also getting access to Exemplary Finisher and Swashbuckler Expertise. Moving on to level 10. Go ahead and increase your Strength, Constitution, and Wisdom each by 2, and increase your Dexterity by 1 point. For your class feat, we are going with Borrow Time, and the skill feat of Acrobatics Mastery. Borrow Time is going to reference our fast forward ability, letting us take an additional action to step, stride, or strike. Moving on to level 11, we are going to get the expert skill in engineering lore. We are going for the general feat of Die Hard, with a vigilant senses and continuous flare. At level 12 Swashbuckler, we are going to get the trained skill of Arcana when we get the class feat of Gunslinger Dedication, and we're going to pick the Way of the Vanguard. And for our skill feat, we are going with Assurance and the Engineering Lore for that skill. At level 13, we are experts in crafting, and we're going to get the Ancestry feat of Impose Order. Impose Order is an Aphorite Ancestry feat, which is going to work perfectly. This basically gives us the ability to retry our saving throw or skill check for any of them that we don't already have assurance in. So, a lot, which is going to be perfect. And again, being able to impose the laws of time when you are able to create those very laws makes sense. You also get improved evasion, weapon mastery, and light armor expertise. Moving on to level 14 Swashbuckler. We are now going to slow down our opponents by getting the class feat Steal Time. And we're going to get the skill feat of Automatic Knowledge in Engineering Lore. Moving on to level 15 Swashbuckler. Go ahead and increase your strength by 2, your wisdom by 2, your charisma by 2, and your dexterity by 1. We are now masters in engineering. We're going to grab the feat of Incredible Scout. For our stylish tricks feat, we are going with Rapid Mantle, and we also get access to Keen Flare and Greater Weapon Specialization. At level 16, we are getting the class feat of Flamboyant Athlete and the skill feat of Steady Balance. Moving on to level 17, we are now legendary in the acrobatic skill, and we're grabbing the Ancestry feat of 10 lives to reference that retry feature. Like I said, we kind of needed Evade Doom for this. It just made perfect sense to go with 10 lives. We also get access to Resolve for being a level 17 Swashbuckler. Moving on to level 18, we are going to get access to the class feat of Basic Shooting with the Gunslinger feat of Munitions Crafter and the free feat of Alchemical Crafting with the skill feat of Wall Jump. We also get access to Infuse Regance. Wall Jump just made sense for the purposes of a platformer. I was actually running out of skill feats at this time. Going over to a level 19 Swashbuckler, we are now legendary in the athletic skill. We also get the feat of Toughness. And we are now Eternal Confidence and Light Armor Mastery. And at level 20, we are now going to increase our dexterity by 1 to make it a 22. Going to increase our constitution, intelligence, and charisma each by 2. We are now trained in nature, and we're getting the class feat of advanced shooting, with the gunslinger feat of running reload, and the skill feat of cloud jump, sort of to reference the double jump feature most platformers get. I don't remember if Blinx has this, but it just makes sense to have. And that is all for today's video. What did you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to see a particular character in the next Hero Flux, short for Fluctuation, video, let me know as well. It's always nice to get inspiration from across media. But until next time, this has been Drayhan, and I am offline.